morning and welcome to Rise and Unwind Raleigh. I'm Kayla and this is the show where we talk entertainment and lifestyle. We've got local stories, helpful tips, and a few surprises along the way. This week we've got this.
So a laptop used to be a luxury, but now it is really a non-negotiable everyday student essential.
There's not enough time in the day to do everything that we need to do.
All that and more right here on a show we like to call Rise and Unwind Raleigh.
Ever wonder what it takes to drive a massive truck across a sheet of ice? Knowing one wrong move could mean disaster. The hit History Channel series Ice Road Truckers has returned with its most intense season yet. Higher stakes, deadlier conditions, and shorter windows to deliver life-saving supplies to some of the most remote communities on Earth. Joining me is a fan favorite and veteran trucker, Todd Dewey, who's back behind the wheel for season 12. Welcome to the show, Todd. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm actually standing on solid ground right now, so I'm feeling pretty confident.
All right, there you go. For those of us, or for those out there who haven't seen it, what do you think makes ice road trucking such a dangerous and vital job?
Oh my gosh. Well, you hit it all when you explained it right off the get-go and letting them know who you were going to be talking to. It starts out from day one and it don't stop until the season's actually over with and you're on a plane flying home. I mean, what it takes to be an ice road trucker is a whole lot of crazy and a lot of trucking skills and a lot of years behind the wheel. That's what it honestly takes. And, you know, we go up there and fight Mother Nature like nobody's business, from snowstorms to thin ice to losing your loads to truck breakdowns and there's some things that happen this season. I know that we've had lots of other seasons and lots of things have happened, but I don't know why or for what reason, but things happen on this season that have never happened before. We had trailers going losing oversized loads. Some of the worst weather conditions I think we've ever been faced with up there, including very thin ice due to climate change, and a very short window to get a lot of loads in these communities. And what people don't understand is they're like, well, you're just driving down the road and just delivering a load. It's not like that. It's what we got to go through to get these loads into the community. Some people say, well, why is it worth it? Why do you want to go out there and risk your life and just to drive on an ice road and drive across the ice? Well, I tell you what, when you battle Mother Nature the way we got to battle it, and you get that load into the community and these communities come out and it's like Christmas time to them, and the little kids come up and they give you a hug and they're so excited to be getting their new bike, maybe that's in their load of supplies, or their food that they need for the remainder of the year after the ice roads, you know, when they all melt and they go away, that's the only access they have to get these supplies. So when I stop and think of my kids or my granddaughters going without food or supplies that they need to live throughout a year, that's how important it is. And they show their appreciation when you show up there, and it makes it all worthwhile.
And you face some brutal hauls. What's the toughest one that sticks with you?
Oh my gosh, there's been so many over the hauls. I can't give any away this year. You're going to have to put your seatbelt on and buckle up and watch a show and go for a crazy ride of this. But there's been so many times that I think I broke a couple records over the years for some of the heaviest hauls on the ice. And there's been a lot of situations. There's been a lot of scary moments. Let's put it that way.
And season 12, it marks really a big return after a long hiatus. What's it been like getting back on the ice kind of this time around?
Oh, I was nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. After having 8 years off and spending and doing a little family time and doing some graduations with my daughters and getting my new grandbabies and doing all that, and then getting the call to go back up after 8 years of not being on the ice, I was nervous. I'm not going to sit here and BS you. I was like, oh my gosh, because then you get flooded with all those emotions of knowing what's about to happen, how thin the ice can get, Mother Nature, the snowstorms you're going to get yourself into. Am I going to be able to get these loads? And do I still have what it takes to be an ice road trucker? And so the first couple of 2-3 runs up there, I was nervous like nobody's business, thinking, oh my, because it just flooded me with emotions. The second I hit that first ice road, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm here and doing this again. So it was quite the adventure, and this is definitely one season you are not going to want to miss.
And this season, we're seeing some veterans and rookies out there. How do the new drivers handle the pressure compared to some of the seasoned pros like you?
I don't know. You know, I've been with a couple new seasoned drivers that have been up there over the years of ice road trucking, and you know, of course, I don't ever leave a driver behind. If I'm with somebody and they're new and they don't know, they're in a situation where they don't know what to do or how to get out of it or how to fix their truck, I'm not going to leave them. I'm going to stay there and help them until we get everybody safe and we're back up and rolling and get out of Mother Nature's elements and get back to rolling. But as far as the new guys this year, I didn't get a lot of trucking time with them. I know that they were nervous. I did talk to them on the side a little bit. And when we were back in getting loads, they're like, oh my gosh, this is not what I expected. I didn't think the roads were going to be this brutal. I didn't think Mother Nature was going to be this brutal. And it's like, I asked them the question, well, what do you think about coming back for another season? If the Muskie Creek asks you to come back and be another driver again this next year, they're like, oh man, I'm gonna have to think about it, because it's that brutal. I mean, these road conditions put you through things you never think your body, or physically and emotionally, that you'd ever be put through. It's pretty amazing.
And beyond the danger and the paychecks, what's the real reward that's keeping you back hitting the road over and over again?
Getting those loads to the communities, those hugs and those hot plate of food after battling and putting your body and getting those loads in the community from Mother Nature and battling those ice roads. When you see the smiles on those families' faces and the way they came up and they give you a hug, and it's not just like a hug like, oh, no, it's a hug like you can tell the appreciation in it. And they kiss you on the cheek or whatever they do, and they just look at you in the eyes and say, thank you. We needed this. That's what being an ice road trucker is about, and that's why I love doing it so much.
Do the words global warming scare you?
Oh, absolutely. It scares me because of the fact of it almost feels like there's going to come a time to where those communities can't get their supplies that they need to survive and take care of their families, and that is definitely very scary.
Todd, I want to thank you for joining me today. You can watch Todd and the rest of the Fearless crew now on Ice Road Trucker Season 12, airing Wednesday nights on History Channel and streaming the next day at history.com/Ice Road Truckers. Hey, Todd, thanks for joining me today.
You betcha. Hey, stay safe out there and buckle up for the first episode. You're going to need it.
After decades of getting blown up, flattened, and generally destroyed by Acme products, Wile E. Coyote is finally doing something about it. He's suing. Coyote versus Acme takes that wonderfully ridiculous idea and turns it into a live-action courtroom comedy with a surprising amount of heart. Will Forte and Lana Condor join us now. Welcome to the show, you two. How are you?
Thank you. And by the way, it's great to talk to you because we made this movie in Albuquerque.
That's right.
Yes, it's an Albuquerque film. I've been waiting and wanting to see this. When somebody first told you about Wile E. Coyote suing Acme, what was your reaction?
I thought it was
Really
hysterical.
Yeah.
It's really funny. This was a New Yorker piece. I believe his name is Ian Fraser, wrote this back in the 90s, I think. And so, it's been kicking around for a while, and then finally people wrote it up. So it's comes from this incredibly funny writer, and then adapted by this amazing Oscar-nominated writer, Sammy Birch. And by the time we got it, it was just this wonderful script that was like, oh my God, but do we get to be in this movie? It was a no-brainer. Just so fun.
And you spend so much of the time playing opposite Wile E. Coyote, and he doesn't talk. So it turned into a pretty long monologue, my friend. How do you make an animated coyote feel like a real scene partner?
Well, we were really set up for success. Our production, our director, Dave Green, he brought in Dave Barkley, who is an iconic puppet master, and so he built a live action to scale Coyote, and then he would go in as Coyote and he would puppet Coyote through the scenes when we were rehearsing, so we could get a general sense of where he was in the room, kind of how he was feeling, and then they would pull the puppet away and they would put in tennis balls, and that's kind of how we filmed. That's kind of how we filmed our interactions with Wiley, and to be honest, like having that resource of Dave Barkley and having him there and being so great at his job and being so great at being Wiley, that changed a lot for me. Like, it was very valuable for me.
Yeah, he really brought the scene to life and made it much easier than you would think.
Yeah.
And this movie has its own kind of specific kind of comedy, especially because it takes place in the Looney Tunes world. What was your key to finding your position in that place?
Well, look, I mean, for me, it was easy because I was a big Looney Tunes fan growing up, and I would watch it on Saturdays and every day after school. So, like, that mindset, in a lot of ways, that helped shape my comedic sensibilities. And Sammy, the screenwriter, and Dave, the director, stay very true to the Looney Tunes tone. You know, so I think that Looney Tunes fans are going to be very happy with how these characters are portrayed, and it's just like it's really fun. So, but the script is written in such a way that, like, it is pretty laid out. She does a very good job of creating this template for your character, and it made it pretty easy to act. And if you got, off track just a little bit, Dave Green, our director, would just nudge you along into the right place.
And what surprised me was how much you actually care about Wile E. Coyote and his plight by the end. Why do you think we root for this guy after all these years?
I mean, God, he's the classic underdog. He's a character that gets up every single day and try again. And even when it's not the result that he wants, and he goes home battered and bruised, he gets up again the following day and he tries again. And I think that that's just that character, someone who's that tenacious and focused and so steadfast in his goal. Like, I think that's very, very inspiring. And for me, I think that, like, I mean, even with the poster, like, he's pushing up this big bomb, and it's gonna fall, I'm assuming, and he's probably gonna keep pushing it up the hill. And I think that's a beautiful message for people to hear. And for me, honestly, I'm pretty proud to be a part of a movie that champions their main character, Wile E. Coyote, as someone who will get up and try again, even in the face of adversity.
And there's plenty here for longtime Looney Tunes fans. It doesn't have to or just completely depend on nostalgia. How important was it that it worked for also a new audience?
I think it was really important that it worked for a new audience, for sure. I mean, I can speak, like, for me, like, my parents introduced me to Looney Tunes, but it wasn't a major fixture, like, in my own personal life as growing up as a child. So my real true love for Looney Tunes started doing this movie and is now. And I really, really think that something that I love the most about this movie is if you've never even seen a Looney Tunes cartoon in your life, you can watch this film and you will fall in love with the world. So I definitely think that it's very important to try and create a film that's obviously for the diehard fans that have loved this and has been a huge part of their lives. But I also think it's very important to create a film that anyone can go to.
Yeah, I mean, there is a little extra level of nostalgic sweetness if you do know the Looney Tunes, but the story is just so solid.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about Lord of the Rings before I watched that, and I loved it.
There you go.
Like Harry Potter.
Absolutely. And we got to give a little love to the New Mexico filmmakers out here. So much was shot here. It's based in New Mexico in Albuquerque. This isn't the first time you've shot a movie out here. You did MacGruber out here as well. What do you remember most about making the movie in Albuquerque and some of the uphill battle you guys went through to try to make this film?
Well, you know what? Albuquerque has a very special place in my heart. I've made the MacGruber movie here, Beer Fest I was in out here, MacGruber TV series, and then Coyote versus Acme. And I got married in Albuquerque. We got married during the shooting of MacGruber, so it holds a very special place in my heart, and I just have such fond feelings. Love everything about it. So beautiful.
Great food. Great people, great crews.
Green chilies. Oh, I can't get enough of them. Those hatch chilies, right? Anyway, the roller coaster ride that happened to this, a very emotional roller coaster ride. We had completed the movie. They did the post-production process. It's testing really well. And then Warner Brothers comes in and just says, nope, we're going to just throw this movie in the garbage can. Nobody's going to ever see it. And we're going to take a tax write-off. And we hadn't seen the movie yet. So when we saw it for the first time a week after that decision, it was mind-boggling. I had gone in thinking, oh, this has got to suck, right? Because that's why else would they be doing this? And then I see this very special, incredible, funny, and emotionally resonant movie. I was so frustrated that I didn't get to share this beautiful movie with my kids. And it just was this horrible feeling. And then we were forced to kind of move on from it because there was nothing we could do. But as we were moving on and trying to get other work, a bunch of people made a bunch of noise about it. They wouldn't stop making their voices be heard. And eventually Warner Brothers had to take note. And they eventually, I think, just got sick of all these people saying stuff. So they sold it to Catch Up Entertainment. And it's just great because this, and now it's coming out in movies because of these people. And it's so great because the on-screen story is about an underdog taking out a big corporation. And the off-screen story is the same thing. It's all these underdogs who banded together to make their voices heard. And because of them, they took on this corporation and beat them.
Will, Lana, I really want to thank you two for joining me. Coyote versus Acme hits theater August 28th. It's a blast. I definitely say you should check it out. Thank you two for joining me today.
Thank you very much.
We tend to think of acne as something you eventually grow out of, but nearly half of young adults still deal with it. And with one treatment, it doesn't work. It's easy to start bouncing from product to product. Board-certified dermatologist Dr. Heather Woolery-Lloyd joins us with some perspective on why breakouts can stick around and what's new with some over-the-counter treatment options and what that can mean. Welcome to the show, Doctor. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so why does acne stick around for some people well into adulthood?
So acne is sometimes something we think about just in teenagers, but I actually think that's a myth. We know, and I see this in my practice all the time, that adults can have acne too. So it's common in men and women, but I see it particularly in women who will say, I had acne as a teenager and then I never grew out of it. Or they'll say that they didn't have acne as a teenager and then all of a sudden in their 30s, 40s, they're getting pimples. So this is something that I see all the time in practice, and that's because acne can be driven by hormones. So in adult women, there's a strong hormonal component to acne, and that's why it can persist into adulthood.
And when people try to manage breakout themselves, what mistakes do you often see the most?
I think people make two major mistakes. One is that they're impatient. So I'll see patients who say that they used a product for 1 or 2 weeks and that didn't work, so they switch to another product for another 2 weeks and that didn't work, and they keep kind of switching, and they're not giving the acne treatment enough time to do its job. And then the second mistake that I see, which is very common, is using too many different products. So it's very common for someone to come in with a bag full of products, 5 or 6 different products, and what it ends up being is irritating to the skin, and you're not going to get any results if your skin is irritated. So using too many products and being impatient are the two big mistakes.
So you mentioned people do cycle through a lot of different products. Why do we keep doing that?
Well, I think it's because people want to get better yesterday. And I totally understand this because I had adult acne, and it's very frustrating to get acne as an adult, and you have important meetings and things to go to, and you just want to get better immediately, but it really takes time to work. So with different epiduo, which we're going to be talking a little bit about, some people can see results in as little as a week, but really it takes 90 days of consistent use to get the best results.
And now there's a prescription strength acne treatment making the switch to an over-the-counter treatment. Why is that significant?
Oh, it's so important. I am a dermatologist. I'm seeing acne patients every day, and this is now the most effective acne treatment approved by the FDA for over-the-counter use. So for patients who might have gotten a prescription in the past, but their insurance didn't cover it, now they can get it over the counter. And then for people who don't have access to a dermatologist, now with different epiduo, you can get a dermatologist-backed acne treatment available over the counter.
And if somebody wants to simplify all of this, where should a consistent acne routine actually look like?
So when you're thinking about your acne routine, you have to first decide if you're a morning person or a nighttime person. If you're doing a morning acne routine, it's 3 simple steps. So you want to use a gentle cleanser. Then you want to use a small pea-sized amount of different epiduo. I always put a little pea on my finger and show my patients a little pea-sized amount because less is more when it comes to a different epiduo and in general our acne treatments. So you use a small pea-sized amount for the full face, and in the morning you'd use a moisturizer with sunscreen. Now, if you're a nighttime person and you like to do your skincare routine at night, it's the same 3 simple steps, so a gentle cleanser, the different epiduo, but if you're using it at night, you'd put a moisturizer on top at night.
So who is this new over-the-counter option going to work best for?
So it's for people who are 12 years of age and older, who have white heads, black heads, pimples, they have mild to moderate acne, and they're frustrated with a complicated skincare routine. It's something that I see in my practice all the time where people get very frustrated because they've tried so many things, but with consistent use, with this new over-the-counter treatment, which was a prescription, you will definitely see results.
So where can people go for more information?
So you can get the product at your local drugstore, so at CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, Target. You can also get it online at Amazon. And if you want to learn more about it, you can also go to different.com.
Dr. Woolery-Lloyd, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much.
Owning a small business can come with challenges that customers never see. New research finds many owners are confident about the future, but things like cash flow and everyday operations make growth harder. Katie Roering is the founder of Fontana Candle Company, and Dr. Shena Ashley is the president of Capital One Insight Center. Welcome, y'all.
Hi, Abby. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming here. Katie, how did the behind-the-scenes work of running your business start getting in the way of growth?
Yes, so from the very beginning, we realized that there's not enough time in the day to do everything that we need to do. We started Fontana as a hobby in our home, pouring candles in the basement and trying to work on the marketing and work on the finance and ordering inventory very early in the morning, very late at night on the weekends. And as we've continued to grow and scale, we now have 30 amazing team members, and they're doing all the manufacturing now and all the fulfillment. But we've learned there still just is not enough time in the day to do everything that we need to do.
And how are you using things like cash back, card rewards, and credit to put money back into your business?
Yes, so we very much put our rewards points to work in our business. We use more rewards points than any other business that our accountant does the books for. So he is just wowed about how many points we use. In the last year, we've really used them for marketing. We use them to buy a 300-pound replica of our best-selling candle, our cinnamon orange clove. And then we redeemed more points to help sponsor the local Lancaster, Pennsylvania Make-A-Wish truck convoy. And we put that big candle in our pickup truck and we drove it down the highway for 25,000 people to see, including the Make-A-Wish kids. So we've really been using it to grow our business, market our business, and give back to the community.
That candle must have been giant and huge and amazing.
It is, yes.
And Shena, how are financial tools making the day-to-day work easier for small business owners?
Yes, as you can hear in Katie's very successful story, the ability for small business owners to be able to take advantage of the growth potential that's in their business by leaning on integrated financial tools. These are resources that help bring separate tasks like accounting, payroll, invoicing, and banking all into one system. And what we heard in this study is that 79% of business owners are utilizing these kind of integrated financial tools. 51% said that these kind of tools are helping them save and get back that precious time that they need to invest in their business and to grow. It's helping them have greater visibility to their cash flow, helping them with inventory management, and also things like reducing accounting errors.
And how important is access to credit for small businesses? And what happens when that access is disrupted?
Credit is key to small business owners, and their ability to access credit is key to our ability to have growing, thriving communities, and also for the employment that they bring to those communities. Small business owners employ nearly half of the workforce in this country. And what they told us is that credit card access is helping to fuel their growth. 67% of them are using credit cards to manage their day-to-day expenses. 77% said that it is helpful for building out their business's resilience. And without that access to growth, without that access to capital, they're going to be required to make some very difficult choices in their business ability to grow. So cutting back on staff, having to access even more expensive financial instruments, things that are going to be deterrents to the kind of growth we want to see, the kind of growth that Katie has done in her community that gives back so well.
And Katie, what's the one thing you want other small business owners to know about using credit and rewards to help their business grow?
Absolutely. So at Fontana, we see credit as a very positive growth tool. It really is there's many different tools out there for small business owners. So for us, it's our Capital One Spark card and all the rewards that come with it. It's also lines of credit. It's SBA loans. There's just so many tools out there. And if you can find the right ones, you can really tap into your growth.
And Shena, where can people go to learn more?
We're on Capital One's website. Look for us at Capital One Insight Center to view this study and many others.
Shena, Katie, thank you so much for coming on our show and talking with us today.
Thank you. Appreciate the time, Abby.
Back to school shopping gets a lot of attention, but getting kids ready for the school year goes well beyond what's in the backpack. A few simple choices and routines at home can make mornings easier and help kids stay focused. Meaghan B Murphy is a mom, lifestyle expert, and author with some practical ideas for families. Welcome to the show, Meaghan. How are you?
Yay, thank you for having me. I'm great.
All right, technology is near the top of just about every back to school list. What should parents be looking for when choosing a laptop this year?
So a laptop used to be a luxury, but now it is really a non-negotiable everyday student essential. I've got 3 teenagers, so that's a lot of laptops. So I was really looking for something that's a premium product at a nice price. And that's where Dell XPS 13 comes in. It is the thinnest and lightest XPS ever made at just 2.2 pounds, powered by Intel Core Series 3 processors. So you're getting 17 hours of battery life, touchscreen display, backlit keyboard. It goes anywhere from like lecture hall to studying in the library. You're not looking for a power cord. And for students 16 plus, it is $599 at Dell.com. That is a really good deal.
And what is one simple thing parents could do before the first day to make those school mornings a little easier?
So I like to say, have a rehearsal. I'm not opening a Broadway show without a rehearsal. Why am I expecting my kids to, star in the first day of school without a dry run? So a week before, even if you can just do a 3 to 4 days before, get everybody up at back to school time. Have everybody dressed, ready, breakfast, backpacks, everything out the door in the same fashion that they will have to do it first day. Give them time to reset their sleep schedule, pinpoint any of the trouble spots, because you don't want it to be a rude awakening. My teenagers have been sleeping till noon. Getting them up that first day, if I don't do some dry runs, is going to be very challenging.
And what everyday routines can really make a difference once the school year gets going?
So we started a family fill-up station, a hydration station in my kitchen, and this has been really fun. It kind of reminds me of like the water cooler at the office where everybody's just coming together to fill up. We've got the M6CG from Waterdrop. It is a countertop system that uses reverse osmosis filtration to provide purified water hot or cold while adding essential minerals for a smoother, more balanced taste. So you can fill up your water bottle for soccer practice. My daughter's been making matcha. My boys think they're very independent when they use it to make instant oatmeal. So everybody's coming together in the kitchen using the Waterdrop, which I totally love. It has a removable pitcher too that I can use at the dinner table or in my home office. It's compact, there's no installation, so it's great in a dorm, it's great in an apartment, it's really great anywhere. There's also a glass pitcher that you can have in the fridge. All of this is at waterdropfilter.com.
And mornings, they can get chaotic pretty quickly. What's your tip for getting everybody out of the house on time?
So this has been very effective in my house, and it's reverse engineering your routine. So if you know it's got to be 7:40 out the door, that means 7:30 shoes and backpacks, that means 7:15 breakfast, that means 7 a.m. up and dressed, and then give your kids checkpoints. So instead of saying, hurry, we're late, which means nothing to a child, you say 7:30, your shoes aren't on, your backpack's not ready. Give them checkpoints and ownership, reverse engineer your routine.
All right, where can people go for more information?
Go to Dell.com, go to waterdropfilter.com, and of course, MeaghanBMurphy.com.
Meaghan B Murphy, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Rise and Unwind Raleigh. Thanks so much for spending part of your day with us. Be sure to follow us on social media for even more fun between episodes, and join us again next week for another edition of Rise and Unwind Raleigh.